to the Dr. Dare Show live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you come in, click share. I hope everybody's having a good Friday evening. It's been a long week for me, but hopefully you're having a great weekend. We have great topics tonight. I kept them kind of similar tonight, and so I just put them on the screen. A judge denies DMX's fiance, Desiree Lindstorm, the common law wife, the right to file or receive any benefits as a legal wife. She will get nothing after standing beside him 8 plus years. This is the fate of the ride or die. Do you agree with the judge? Um, did she waste her life away on DMX? Why or why not? And we'll get into the details of that. And number two is how many months or years should a woman or man stay in a relationship before they let it go if marriage is not mentioned or there's no plans for that. So those are the two things that we will be talking about tonight. It's Topic Hop Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you come in, click share, click share, click share. We love new visitors. So if you're a little shy or anything, you don't have to talk. You could just sit on here and listen to everybody else talk. We don't try to change your opinion. We're just a friendly group of people just chatting it up on a Friday evening. So welcome, 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 and we will start momentarily. And once you come in, please click share. Hope everybody's staying safe. Um, I'm trying to stay safe. I try to still wear my mask and make sure I'm cognizant of staying away from people as much as possible. I know it gets hard. I know it's hard because we seem like we're in this thing, this COVID thing, and like we're never getting out of it, but we got to stay the course and just pray for each other and support each other. But my week was great. Saw a lot of clients. Everything was good. Hey, 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 Dr. Dare Live, YouTube, Facebook. You come in, click share, say hello, introduce yourselves. If you're shy, you can just state, I'm not going to call your name out or anything unless I know you. Then I'm just going to say hi. But if you're just visiting, come on in, take a seat, get you a beverage to sip on, get some snacks or whatever, and we will get into these topics momentarily. Tonight we're talking about, hey Karen, good evening. Great week, sir. Good. I'm glad you had a great week as well, Karen. Yeah, my week was good. It was long, but it was good. So, how was yours, Karen? So this is the two topics we're talking about. Number one, a judge denies DMX fiance Desiree Lindstorm, the common law wife, the right to file or receive any benefits as a legal wife. She will get nothing after standing beside him 8 years. This is the fate of a ride or die. That's sad. Do you agree with the judge's decision? Um, and do you think Desiree kind of wasted her life away with DMX? And we'll get into the details of that. And then part two of that question is how many months or years do you stay? How many months or years do you stay in a relationship if it is not moving forward and there's no mention of marriage or anything like that? Karen, you said my week is cool. Thanks for asking. Common. Oh, okay. So, yep, we haven't started yet, anyone. So we're just chilling. If you come in, click share. Let us know how you're doing, um, and we will get started momentarily. I got to go turn off this. I think it's the bathroom fan or something. Something is annoying me. But hold on, I'll be right back. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday night. Friday night. Friday night. That's my phone. Let me share this video. Share the show real quick. When you come in, click share. No, 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 no. Mm, 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 mm. Eh. I got this Zumba song in my head. Hey. Yes, welcome, 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 everybody. We haven't got started yet. We will be starting momentarily. Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live on YouTube and Facebook. When you come in, click share. If you're new to the show on Friday nights, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to. If you want to talk, you're more than welcome. We never try to change your opinion. We're just a group of people just having a chat it up on a Friday night. And so we got an interesting topic. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this about DMX's fiance, a common law wife, and I thought, hey, that's a good topic. And you know, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the details of Desiree's situation, and then we have a question too, is how long do you stay in a relationship with someone when it's not moving forward and you're not getting what you want or need out of that relationship? And so these are the questions we will be asking tonight. But when you come in, say hello, and we will start once more people start joining in. So share, 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 click follow, share, click follow, share. Yes, yes, yes. We welcome all comments, whether you agree with each other or you don't. It's okay, you know. So hope everybody stand there, and welcome to the Dr. Dare Show, and we will get started in a sec. I had more energy than I had last week. Last week I was tired. I was exhausted. I don't know what I did to myself to make me so tired, but I was tired. Hey, cousin Tanya, glad you joined. Still praying for y'all. Um, yeah, glad you joined. Let's see. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold. So if you're just joining, we are talking about our first question is a judge denies DMX's fiance Desiree Lindstorm, the common law wife, the right to file or receive any benefits as a legal wife. She will get nothing NOTHING after standing beside DMX for 8 plus years. This is the fate of the ride or die. Do you agree with the judge's decision? Um, and that is our question number one. And then number two is, if you're in this type of situation, how long do you stay in a relationship? Months or years or weeks? And and that relationship is not moving forward, how soon do you get away? So those are our two questions that we'll be starting at 8:40, giving people a chance to come in from work and grab a snack and grab something to drink and sit here and just have a good time on the chat. This is a good topic. I can't wait to hear everybody's opinion. And I kind of talked about a similar topic about 2 months ago, where I was noticing like high school friends or people out in the world, I would say, that were been together for all these years, and then they decide when they get old or older, then they get married, and I'm like, well, why didn't you commit to that person before? Because that's all marriage is like you're committing to this person so that they will be there for you in times of trouble, if you having financial issues at home or things like that. um you have that person by your side no matter what. So yeah, we'll get started in a second. Oh well, it is time. Okay, so let's start with number one. A judge denies DMX's fiance Desiree Lindstorm, the common law wife, the right to file or receive any benefits. As a legal wife, she will get absolutely nothing standing beside him for 8 years. This is the fate of a ride or die. Do you agree with the judge's decision? That's our first question. Is do you agree with the judge's decision? And so I did a little research too. Um, so I'll put this up here. According to this magazine called Six, DMX didn't have a will. Lindstrom. So this is a little behind the scenes information. DMX didn't have a will, and Lindstrom are hold on, back it up. According to page six, the fallen MC's DMX children and his fiancee Desiree Lindstorm are fighting over his assets. DMX didn't have a will. Lindstrom, the mother of his 5-year-old son, Exodus, petitioned the court to be legally declared his common law wife, but a magistrate denied the request. If the judge had ruled in her favor, she would have been sole. Um, what do we got? Ruled in her favor, she would have had the sole control over the deceased rapper's potential earnings, and they say in his affairs. It's important to note that New York hasn't recognized common law marriage since 1933. So they live in New York. So common law is not even acknowledged in the state of New York. So I see people coming in. Karen says common law in a very limited number of states. It's great to be a ride or die for your partner. Love that Desiree and DMX had a committed relationship, no license, no case. So, Karen, do you agree with the judge? Do you feel like she didn't have any ground to stand on, even though she put in 8+ years? Um, and Tanya says yes. Unfortunately for her, though, the children will get the money, though. Yeah. So Tanya, you agree with the judge as well that poor Desiree Lindstrom shouldn't have any say so over any of DMX's money. And I agree. The kids, hey, those are his blood kids. But I think her 5-year-old son probably gets something. But there's no will. So how does that work out anyway? So if you're just joining, I just provided a little information about the case. According to page six, the fallen MC's children and his fiancee Desiree Lindstrom are fighting over his assets. DMX didn't have a will. First mistake, everybody out there, get a will. Have something written down. I don't care how much money you have. There if you got kids and you're in this situation, always have something written so that people will know your wishes after you're deceased. That's the first thing that we want to acknowledge. um DMX didn't have a will. Lindstrom, the mother of his 5-year-old son Exodus, petitioned the court to legally declare herself as a common law wife. I don't know who told her to do that, since they're saying New York doesn't even recognize or hasn't even recognized common law marriage since 1933. Okay. Yes, unfortunately for her, Tanya said that. Tanya said that. Yes, that wasn't her legal husband. Yeah. So you have no ground. I know people think that piece of paper doesn't mean anything, but in the court of law, it really does. And especially if you've been with your mate that long, you have to question yourself, like, why are we not married? What is the issue? Is it a fear of commitment? Is it what is it? So Karen says, let me get to your comment, Karen. She had no ground according to the law. It sucks, but judge followed the letter of the law, and I hope his family will be kind to her financially. They don't owe it to her, however. That is sad. It is sad, right? It's sad because if they're battling over the money, there's going to be some animosity, which means then they probably just shut her off completely because Now you done pissed them off probably. Hey Tanil, glad you snuck out of work. But that part, right, with a will, make sure you're writing your you have a will for yourself. I don't care if you have $100 in the bank or you have a car, you have something that people may fight over once you're gone. I've seen it so many times when people die, for some reason, that's when the claws come out and people want things and so it's always good to have, something written down. That's the thing about my dad. When he died, he had everything written down, and he let my brother-in-law, Tony's dad, tell us how everything was going. So learn that from him. You always do that. Okay. Tanil says I'm watching while typing a report. So you're working. Good, good. Yeah. So let me read the background again for the people who just joined. So we were talking about a judge denies DMX's fiance Desiree Lindstorm, the common law wife, the right to file or receive any benefits as a legal wife. She will get nothing. You hear that? Nothing after standing beside him for 8 years. And this is the fate of a ride or die. And I can imagine her probably sitting these 8 plus years, Desiree, sitting there for these 8 plus years with hope in her heart that she will get married, which is why I feel really, really bad for her. Because at the end of this, you got nothing. And now you're in an argument with the kids, which means they're probably not going to give you anything unless someone out of the kindness of their heart decides to give you something. But she does have a 5-year-old son by DMX named Exodus. So hopefully he will get something um, because that is his kid. Hey Tanisha. Hey Mike. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are your thoughts on this topic? We've had Tanya saying yes, they agree with the judge. Karen says yes, she agrees with the judge because Desiree is not the legal wife. And I gave a little background. I'll read that again. According to Page Six, which is the magazine, the fallen MC's children and his fiance Desiree Lindstrom are fighting over his assets. DMX did not have a will, and if you just chimed in, I gave my little 2 cents on getting a will. I don't care how much you have or how much you don't have. DMX didn't have a will. Lindstrom, the mother of his 5-year-old son, Exodus, petitioned the court to be legally declared his common law wife, but a magistrate denied the request. If the judge had ruled in her favor, she would have got a lot. She would have been the sole um, proprietor of his stuff. But another fact that this magazine posted is that since 1933, New York does not recognize a common law marriage. So I don't know what lawyer told her to go petition. I don't know if she did it on her own, but if that is a law, you weren't going to get anything. You really have to. That's why women and men who are in these common law marriages, you really have to look out for yourself. Pay attention. Like if things are not, I'll stop because that's the part of the next question. We'll get into that. Um, Karen says common law in a very limited number of states. It's great to be. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. Okay, Karen has a new comment. She had no ground according to the law. It sucks, but judge followed the letter of the law. I hope this family will be kind to her financially. They don't owe it to her. However, it's sad. Oh, I read that already. Sorry, Karen. I'm getting to it. Um, in this day and age, not having a will is inexcusable. Yes, it's just like dying without insurance. Like GoFundMe pages, that's not, no. We have to have a will, we have to have insurance, or things like this is going to happen. Now, this lady, and I hate to say that she wasted 8 years. Hopefully, she loved DMX. I'm sure she did. So we won't say wasted, but she may not get anything out of it. I mean, you know. She'll get some for her son, at least, hopefully. Um, Karen says, my godson gets everything I have. He's even on my insurance as my beneficiary, even if all I have is lint in my pocket. Right, Karen. And it's good to have a will no matter how much money you have, you know? Hey, Mike. Mike says if he really respected her, DMX would have at least established a living will with her receiving something. I don't understand famous blacks with financial success not having a living will. Right, Mike. And that's kind of what I was just talking about. Like, even us common folk who don't have anything, you need to write something in on paper or something so that somebody, unless somebody knows that they can follow your wishes, because I've seen it so many times when someone dies, it's a big mess, and they fight over anything. It could be anything. Could be the food that they have in their refrigerator while they died, or the furniture that they had in their house, or a car, or anything. So it's good. And I don't know. I'm with you, Mike. I don't know why black celebrities, don't you know put that will into place. It's just, hey, like, come on, common sense. But yeah. And so the background is she probably won't get anything because now it has turned into like a battle. And I'll read this again between the kids. According to page 6, for people who just joined, the fallen MC DMX's children has and his fiance Desiree. So, and the word fiance is there, so that lets me know there was intentions on getting married. I don't know how long she was the fiance. I don't know if she just created this title fiance trying to make it look a little better. I don't know. But fallen MC's children and his fiance Desiree Lindstorm are fighting over his assets. DMX didn't have a will. Lindstrom, the mother of his 5-year-old son Exodus, petitioned the court to be legally declared his common law wife, but a magistrate denied the request. But if that judge would have allowed it, she would have gotten a lot. But again, I don't think the if she had a lawyer would have recognized that this little statement right here, that New York State, which is where DMX lives, New York State hasn't recognized common law marriages since 1933. That's a blow. Hey, cousin Andrea. Everyone, no matter what their status is, needs to have information, insurance, and whatever needs to be done to be covered. Yes, I agree. Um, it's like I said, I don't care what you have. If you have $100, a car, a bank account, you need to have something written down. You know, I don't care what it is. And Karen says, some people think, let's see what you got. Some people think they have all the time in the world and don't think about a will until they get sick and or older, if at all. DMX was only in his 50s and probably thought he had more years of life. Yes, and that's so, but now from this show, all of us, we have to spread the knowledge that we learned from this show that, like my cousin Andrea said, you need to tell people what your plans are if something happens to you. You need to have insurance, and whatever else needs to be done, instructions on how to handle your stuff after you leave this earth. God forbid. But it's going to happen to all of us. So, yeah, I just feel sorry for Desiree. Hopefully, I know she'll get something for the son, but does anybody know how it works if you don't have a will? How do they handle that money? Does it just go to the children automatically, or do they have to get a lawyer to fight for that money? That's a question. That's a good question. Does anybody out there know? And Tanya says, I doubt that they were going to get married. You don't think they were going to get married? You think she just conjured up that title of fiance? Um, yeah, this is sad. I just feel bad for her. Like, I'm wondering, was she constantly for all this 8+ years sitting there hoping that he was going to marry her, or because he was in the limelight, maybe he didn't trust her. Maybe he didn't see her that way. Maybe, maybe there was something else that we don't know. Maybe he had doubts. Who knows? Andrea says that man had more than 12 children and he didn't remarry her or any of those children's mothers. He had one wife and he divorced her. The only thing she can do is college. Right. Go and try to make your life better now, because now that you're arguing, so there's a pattern that Andrea said that DMX had, which is true. He had a whole bunch of children. He had a whole bunch of children and he didn't marry any of. He probably, and see, the thing is, what we don't realize, me being a therapist, when men don't see marriage in their past, in their childhood, they probably won't do it. And it's a commitment issue. It might be fear that he's going to lose the money, or he had intentions that they were just going to go to the kid and he's never was going to get married. Yeah, good point, Andrea, because yeah, that was his behavior pattern. He wasn't going to marry her, probably. But I wonder where she got that title of fiance, or was it something that just was thrown in there to try to add some sauce to the title of common law. You know what I mean? Karen says if you don't have a will, your estate asset typically ass- assets. Sorry, couldn't read. Typically goes to the state you live in. That's what I thought. Then you have to fight the state. See, why do you want to put people in that predicament, especially when you have the money? Hopefully, he had money that DMX had, and all that money just goes to the state, and your kids could be using that for college, um, whatever. So Andrea says she was a clout chaser. I believe that, and now you that did nothing for you. It's just like this little statement on this blob says, "The fate of a ride or die." The fate of a ride or die is this. This is the result if you stay in this relationship for 8+ years for her, we'll say. And thank you, cousin, for being proud of me. Thanks. Mike says his estate could be taken over by the state. Yep, you and Karen just said the same thing. Unless there's a legal document saying someone is the authority over his estate, and I don't think he was. The research that I did um, said that he didn't have a will, which is why I think she felt like Desiree felt like she had to step in and kind of go to a judge before all of everything that he did have is taken away. But I don't think that, well, it didn't work because the judge said, no, ma'am. Nope. And then, of course, using that title of common law. And like I said, common law marriage in New York hasn't been acknowledged since 1933. So, yeah, not a good. Not a good ending for Desiree. And Andrea says he was definitely $1.3 million in debt before he died. Oh my gosh. So she might be trying to gather debt. She might need to leave it alone. And like you said, because of interest, just go ahead and go to college and start all over again. Yeah. And he didn't have any money. Have any money. He died in debt. Yeah. That's sad. And probably anything that he did have now, the kids are gonna get, and hopefully they don't accrue debt from it. Just sad. So good stuff, good stuff. If you're just joining, we're talking about number one: a judge denies DMX's fiance Desiree Lindstorm, the common law wife, the right to receive or file for any benefits as a legal wife. She will get nothing. Listen out there, y'all. If you're in this situation, she is getting nothing after standing beside DMX for 8+ years. This is the fate of a ride or die. And do you agree with the judge? It seems like everybody on this live agrees with the judge, and well, and it's actually, we have no say so, because it seems like this is a law that common wife marriage is not even acknowledged. So that was kind of a waste I hate to say like a waste of her 8 plus years, but I think cousin Andrea said that she was a clout chaser, and that's what happens with celebrities too. You get around celebrities, you see their groupies, you think they got money and stuff, but they probably struggling. They're getting by on their name um alone. Let's see. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Anything else on this topic before I switch to the second one? Okay. And Andrea, you say she won't be getting anything. Her son proving that the child may benefit. And that's what I was hoping, keeping my fingers crossed for her. At least she'll get something from his name is Exodus. Hopefully she'll get something from him. But other than that, I don't know. Tennille says, sad. His catalog is legendary. His family should be set. Got to have the right people managing you. Yes. Yes. And that's why when we first started on here tonight, I'm like, I'm not nobody's manager, but we have to do better with getting life insurance, getting writing a will, getting regular benefits so we won't have to do these GoFundMe pages. And I understand there are certain situations where things happen unexpectedly, but for the most part, we got to do better, as people, as black people too, and make sure that we're on um on our own game and make sure this type of stuff doesn't happen. And Karen says even states that recognize common law marriage have strict stipulations. If he had debt, she might want to let that go, right? Because you'll be taking on debt, but I don't think she's going to get anything. I think what we all agreed is maybe the son will get something, the children are going to get something. If and that's after the debt is paid. That's after, you know, all the money is shelled out. If he had debt, yeah, that's sad. I feel bad for her. So our second part of that question, and we can still chime in on that question um, once we get past it, because that's what we call it, Topic Hop Fridays. So you can still comment on that topic if you want. But our second topic is related to that. It's if I can pull it up. Come on, computer. Oh, there we go. Mm-mm. So the second part of the question, because it's taking forever to respond, is if you're in a relationship, kind of like this situation, how long do you stay in that relationship? Months, years before you decide to move on, especially if there's no mention of marriage or how this relationship is going to progress. How long do you stay in that type of situation? What are your thoughts on that, y'all? I'll put the question up. So here's that question. Yes, cousin Andrea. Educate, educate, educate. That's what I'm trying to do. Please make a will. Please have insurance. Please have benefits for dental, medical, vision, all of it. Life, car insurance, renter's insurance, house insurance, all of those things. We need all of that. I know it seems like you're paying money for nothing, but you'll need it in the future. So, our second part of this question is how many months or years should a woman or man stay in a relationship before they let it go if marriage is not mentioned or a possibility? So, how long would you stay in a situation like this? Just curious, especially looking at this example. And I'm sure this has happened to so many people. And I'm trying not to be on that judgmental kick because I know sometimes people get caught up in love. That's why Tina Turner says, what's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Yeah, but what are your thoughts? How many months or years or days should a woman or man stay in a relationship before they let it go if marriage is not mentioned or a possibility? And we can use Desiree Lindstorm as an example of what happens or what could potentially happen. And I'm sure, I would love to have been in her brain to see um what was her thought. Was she hoping that DMX was gonna eventually marry her? But like Andrea said, he had so many children, so many. I think he married one person, and then all the rest were just baby mamas. So his behavior pattern was that, hey, I'm not getting married. I'll keep having kids. I'll keep doing being DMX, but I'm not, you know, going to marry anybody. Sounds like it. Hey, brother, Bobby and sister Donna are on. Hey, 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 hey. I think I'm gonna have to keep my phone up because then I can see who joins that way. Because sometimes this thing I can't see people. So if I skip over you and you have a question or you have a comment, just say it again and I'll get to it. So what are y'all thoughts on? I don't see many thoughts on how many months or years should a woman or man stay in a relationship before they let it go if marriage is not mentioned or a possibility. Or you'll have the example of Desiree Lindstorm. Hey, Bob's on here too, Donna. Tennille says 2 years is the maximum limit now. The first year is to really get to know that person. I agree. And year two should be about making plans and solidifying a future that's just your 2 cents. And I agree. It's like that first year, you're getting to know the person. You're learning the ins and outs about them because they're not going to change after that second year, right? So you're getting to know them that first year, and this is a perfect plan. So if you're listening out there, ladies, Tennille just gave you some advice. She's a counselor as well. She just gave you some advice. 2 years, I'm gonna put that on the screen. 2 years is the max limit now. The first year is to get to really know that person, and year two should be about making plans and solidifying a future. And she says that's her 2 cents, but that's good advice because anything other than that, you're just getting into this cycle of y'all already know each other, nothing's changing. You got comfortable, which is what happened to Desiree. 8 years, you got really comfortable and then nothing came of it. And if nothing is coming of it, you do have to stick up for yourself. I tell my clients this all the time in couples counseling. You have to set boundaries for yourself. You have to say, by this amount of time, if nothing is going to pop off with this relationship, then I need to go back to my table for myself and reconsider what I should do in this relationship. Because anything like Tennille was saying, anything past those 2 years, now you're just into that cycle of I know you, you know me, and yeah, boundaries and expectations are the key. Yes, you can't just, and a lot of people get caught up, and like I keep singing Tina Turner's song, "What's love got to do with it?" Because I in so many therapy sessions that I have with couples that I'll say, "Do y'all love each other?" They're like, "Yeah, we love each other." And then I'll say, "Do you like each other?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Wow." Makes a big difference. Okay. So Andrea says, in my opinion, max is 3 years. First year dating, get to know one another. Second year engagement, finance, and their family. And for those that want a big wedding, third year is marriage. Go to marriage counseling first. I agree. Marriage counseling. So y'all are similar, but Andrea just added an additional step to Neil's um, line of a relationship. And so I suggest you do marriage counseling or couples counseling. First of all, I suggest you do couples counseling early in the relationship, like probably after that first year, because there's a lot of things, boundaries that people cross with each other. And then the big three things that I always tell y'all on this show is the big three relationship problems are boundaries crossing, trust issues, and lack of communication. Those three things will ruin a relationship before they even get started. Boundaries, communication, and trust. So, yes. So, yeah, we got two good plans. Tennille says 2 years. Cousin Andrea says 3 years. Um, yeah. So, what do y'all think? And I'll put yours on the screen too. So, in my opinion, max is 3 years. First year is dating, getting to know one another. Second year, engagement, finance, and their family. And for those that want a big wedding, third year is marriage. Go to the marriage counselor first and then get married. Yes. Please do counseling. Please do couples counseling because there's so much you don't know about each other. First of all, you got to deal with all the past trauma, all of that stuff when you're getting to know the person. Andrea says, I married after 6 months, but we both have been through a lot of stuff. And so that's okay because these things are not set in stone. And remember that this is always depending on the person. Some people want to get married. That's their goal. That's all they want to do. But then there's some people who don't, and then there's some people who they have to take it really slow. So none of this stuff is we're taught at when we become therapists not to generalize anything. So we will never generalize and say that these are the things that you should apply to your life. But hey, check them out before. Karen says setting boundaries, getting that milk for free gets sour. Karen done pulled in that old statement. Giving that milk for free becomes gets sour. Or what's the other one about why get the milk for free if you got the cow at home or something like that. But yeah, good advice. Hopefully anybody that's in this type of situation, no judgment because you're there, you're living your life, you're doing the things that you want to do. But now just take a step back and listen to all the comments that we're saying on here and kind of reevaluate where you are. You know, you're probably sitting in that relationship after 2 or 3 or 4 years, and you probably have some kind of hope that this person is going to do right by you or marry you or, you know, take the relationship further. And if that's not happening, you have to sit down with yourself and say, is this good enough? I am worth more than that. I am worth more than just sitting around waiting on what fantasy, which is like Desiree, I feel like was doing. Again, even though she probably too liked the limelight, so she got caught up in that. And now when he died, it's like I hate to say it, screwed because you've gained nothing from it. So it's really sad. So anybody out there listening, again, not judging, I get it. You're in this situation, but from this point on, hearing all of the comments and stuff, please take heed to reevaluating yourself and what you want and your boundaries and what you need out of a relationship. Because if you don't know what you need out of a relationship, somebody's just gonna come into your life and kind of mess that up. So yeah, let's make sure that you know who you are um, getting involved with and what they want and what they expect. Um, I do a lot of counseling and couples counseling, and it's the simple little things that blow up the relationship, like taking somebody's phone and looking through it, or um, staying out overnight and not telling the person. Things like that will ruin a relationship because you do need to have that conversation. Don't just sit in a relationship and let the feelings of love just take over. Make sure that you are um, being intentional about the relationship. That's my 2 cents. But for those who have just joined, you want to chime in. We welcome um, your comments. We're still just jumping back and forth. This is Topic Hop Friday. Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show. We're talking about DMX, his wife, his fiance, common law wife, Desiree Lindstorm, didn't get anything out of the marriage so far. I don't know if this can go any further, but New York doesn't recognize the common law marriage, and she is in a war with the kids over his assets. And we on this chat agree with the judge that she had no um, legal rights to anything, and hopefully she'll get something for her 5-year old son. So this is just I'm giving you a recap of what's going on. You can chime in. We welcome all comments. We're not trying to change your opinion. Your opinion is yours. Let's see. Um, Andrea says, no, no, no boundaries in marriage. If there is doubt in trusting their partners, no need to get married. Just my opinion. Been married 19 years. Yes, we share all. That means paying bills, passwords, thoughts, prayers, opinions. The key is to accept and not be judgmental. So, Andrew, you think there should be no boundaries? Do y'all agree with that out there? She's saying this is just her opinion. What are your opinions? Do you think you should have boundaries in a marriage? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Tennille says, wasn't it Don Cheadle that finally married his girlfriend after 28 years? I think so, but let me just jot that down. But I think we did a topic on that about a few months ago where I was saying I was seeing people that I knew that have been together since like high school, elementary school, and they wait till they're really old to marry their significant other. And I was just like wondering why that was the case. It's got kind of like what Andrea is saying, like, you know, because marriage just to me is like you have this person that you can depend on for finances, for love. You get sick, um, any of those things. You want to make that commitment so that you're there for each other, and there's no doubt, there's no question. But yeah, you're right. Don Cheadle married after 28 years. Let's see. This is true that Marvel star Don Cheadle and his longtime partner Bridget Coulter, as the couple got married last year after spending 28 years together beforehand. what? 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 Why? That's a whole like lifetime. So Tennille, I just pulled that up and found that for you, and you are right. Don Cheadle and his longtime partner Bridget, um, as the couple got married last year after spending 28 years together beforehand. What is that about? What is that about? So we got several questions. Do y'all agree with Andrea? I put her post up here. She's like, no, 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 no boundaries in marriage. Yep, Karen, I posted the little clip of what I found. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are those 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 are like Andrea, those are the things we talk about in couples counseling before they get married. Like what does that look like while they're dating, not after they married. Hopefully you wouldn't marry somebody that you don't have any trust in, or because you should be able to go out of state and your husband or your wife stays home and you have no concern about them cheating or anything, there's no need to. And I agree with you on that fully. But I see a lot of couples that start off, and these are the things they kind of talk about. So, yeah. Thank you for that explanation, though. She says, no, I don't check my husband's phone, but he doesn't hide his phone either. He doesn't give me a reason, nor do I. In my sincere opinion, when he shows me a reason to question him, then we will have a problem. I know that's right. You're like, no, we're not even going there. But good marriages don't go through that. It's not even something that even comes up, and that's how it should be. Like if you're doing that early on in your marriage, then you want to take a step back. Or I would say in dating, hopefully you won't marry somebody you don't trust them, right? So in dating though, um That's why I say couples counseling is good. When you start dating and you've been together for a year, I think you need couples counseling. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks, Karen. Yep. Good stuff, y'all. Hopefully, people have learned this, have listened to this, shared this, and yes. Again, when you have a topic, if you want to send it to me, I will discuss it. You don't have to say anything. I'll go research it and I will present it to the group and we can have a discussion. So if there's anything you ever want to talk about, you can send it to me, email it, inbox me at the Dr. Dare Show, and we will discuss it. So, yep. So if there's nothing else, I think we've kind of covered all the topics. I will let you have the rest of your Friday night. Thank you so much for joining. Please share this live. It's very informative, a lot of information here for people who may be in this situation. Again, no judgment, only trying to share facts about relationships, insurance. Please take that away with you. Have some kind of insurance, have a will, have life insurance, benefits, health insurance, all of those things. They are needed. I know it feels like you throwing money out the window, but it is really needed. So if you don't take anything else away from this live tonight, take that away. Please, 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 please. All right, y'all. Have a good night and talk to y'all next week. All right. Bye.